Hey, hey, hey! We are live. Hey,
Live.
how are the wire nuts doing this week? Happy Wednesday, Hump Day! We're over the hump, down the hill, heading on to
Finally.
Friday. Yeah, heading on to Friday. Friday quitting time.
Hopefully it'll warm up a little bit the rest of the week, at least where
No,
I'm
no, no,
at.
no, no, no. I'm good, thanks.
You're good. You're all good. You don't need it to be
Still
any
wearing,
warmer.
no, no. I'm still wearing shorts and t-shirts
Shut the hell up.
and sandals and flip flops and yeah.
It's all right. You had yours in July, so it's
Oh, I
it's
did.
it.
I had my misery. June, July.
Turnabout is fair play, so I guess
Yeah,
it's your turn. So
yeah.
what's up with you, dude? It's the Live Wires with
It is.
DR and Brian S. Episode number 16. Welcome all the wire nuts. Who's out there in the chat?
Well, I
Who we
see
got?
Kalen.
Oh,
Hello,
really?
Kalen. Yeah.
Hey,
And
Kaylin.
there's Six String Brian, which we'll be hearing more from him
Chicken.
later. Soda and Milk, Terry Hines, Joe Hervey, JJ's House of Jams, Brad Miller, Alex Radford. Hey, Alex. Enjoyed hanging out with you last week. Zach Thong. Um, let's see. Dan of New Jersey, Oregon Steve, and Pete Hickson.
Hey,
There's
Pete.
Quentin. Hey, Quentin.
Quentin. Quentin.
Quentin. It's Gomer. Hey, Gomer. Pile. Let's see.
Shazam.
Shazam. Shazam, Sergeant. Sorry,
That was pretty good, actually.
I couldn't help that one. Shazam. Oh man, so how's everybody doing? How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Phil Mosley just popped in, too.
Oh,
What's up,
there's the
Phil?
count. There's the
The
count.
Batman in the house.
Yeah.
I'm doing good. It's cold. It's nasty up here, bro. We got like 6 inches of snow and it was 11 degrees. We went from like
6 inches
fall
of
to,
what? Six
we
inches
went,
of sun?
yes, we got six. It literally went from fall to the middle of January overnight.
Out.
I'm like, what
But
the heck?
you go from pumpkins to Christmas, right? Or
Yeah, the
pumpkins to,
pumpkins, the pumpkins are frozen solid. They didn't even get brought in yet.
wow.
It's
Yeah, that's
crazy.
brutal, man. Yeah,
What's up with you?
that much snow before Thanksgiving that's not a normal thing, is it?
No. Usually we get this thing called Indian summer, although that's probably not a politically correct term, but I don't think we're getting one this year.
Yeah, you can pretty much rule that
Yeah.
out.
We're getting an Eskimo ice age instead of an Indian summer is what we're getting.
right, right. Oh man. Hey, there's David
Both,
Ennis. How you
both,
doing,
both
David?
of which you can't say on YouTube, by the way.
Yeah.
Can't say that.
Well, we just did. Oh well.
We'll edit that out. We'll edit that out.
No, we won't. Oh, there's Guitar Pit. Hey, Chris.
Hey, what's up, Pitt? Pitt. What's up, Pitt?
Oh no, not too much new with me. We got the big pickup reveal or the big guitar reveal tonight.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Some new stuff to look at. Some cool guitars online to look at.
yeah,
Some
yeah.
historic, fun guitars to look. We got guitars coming out our ears
Oh
tonight.
man, we're
If you
full
don't
of
like
guitars.
guitars,
You're in the wrong place.
yeah, this ain't gonna be the show for you if you don't like cool guitars.
Yeah. So
So
anyway, yeah. So we should probably address our lack of show on Thanksgiving or the week of Thanksgiving.
right.
We are not going to be having a show that week, or at least a live show. There
Or
may be
if we do, it won't be on Wednesday night.
right.
Possibly we might have one like on a Monday evening or something because everybody's going to be traveling around. Yeah, something like that. Or there might be a pre-recorded something or other that's fun
Yeah.
for everybody that we could do a premiere with, so we can all sit in and still not talk sense in the chat if y'all want. So we'll
Right.
see.
Right.
Same thing when we get around Christmas time. We'll figure
Yeah.
something out that week too. So
Yeah. I can tell you there will not be a Christmas show, a Christmas live show.
No.
Sorry, guys. Ain't happening.
No.
Or at least not in this format anyway.
No.
So.
Yeah, maybe a greatest hits at that point.
Yeah, we may. Yeah, we may.
Yeah.
You never know what we may do to kind of close out the year and whatnot. So.
Chicken says we could just have we could do the live wires and just have Guitar Hack and another Canadian of his choice because they already had theirs or they already ate their turkey.
We could turn the reins over to Brian and Guitar Hack.
We'll let Joe run the show on Hanukkah, but that runs for like a week or something.
It's 8 days, man. I don't know.
8
Zero.
days of live wires. I don't think that's gonna work.
I don't know which one of us lives in the desert. Zero.
Oh, shut up. Which one lives in the desert? Not me. I live just barely above the Arctic Circle. This is where I think I live at. Just across the line.
Right on. Well, so we've kept everybody waiting. So I guess we'll go ahead and.
It's not like it's a mystery at this point.
No big mystery here, boys and girls. So, everybody ready to bring in the guest here?
I'm ready. Let's do
All
this
right,
thing.
here we go. Well,
I don't know if the guest is ready.
He might not. He's ruling Monday nights, and we all love him, and well, it's Six String Brian.
The master of Monday nights, ladies and gentlemen.
The Monday Night Master.
The Monday Night Master. The
Monday Night
Master of mayhem and disaster.
You got
Brian
it, bro.
Cote,
And motorcycle.
Six String Brian and motorcycle. Yeah, that's all good. Yeah, you could write a song. There's lyrics for a song in there somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere.
It should be
What's
that
up, bro?
I'm
You're not in your studio tonight. Tell us where you're at and what you're doing there.
I am in downtown Toronto in a hotel tonight, so.
Oh, fun.
Yeah,
Hotel
I'm down here
bed tonight.
a photography conference thing going on, and just spending a few days in Toronto, dealing with all
Gotcha.
the traffic and the population explosion down here. It's insane.
Yeah, we were talking about that a little bit earlier. It's almost like Manhattan now with the traffic and the congestion and all the people.
Yeah.
It's maybe like 8 million people in Toronto now,
Yeah,
including
it's
the
insane.
surrounding area. Wow,
They're
that's
building
crazy.
condos like every corner. There's like a freaking condo going up. So I don't know how they're doing it, but I guess they're selling them.
Guitar Pit says you're the Ayatollah of work travel Allah.
I could be. At some point, I might be.
Ayatollah. Have you ever been called an Ayatollah before, Brian? That
No.
might be a first.
Never.
Oh my goodness gracious! So you got snow, I suppose, like the rest of us did. Whether we
Oh,
liked
good
it, well,
Lord, yeah.
Dave didn't, but the rest of us did.
Yeah.
Dave did not.
Everybody else in North America got snow, so I guess the motorcycles put away for the winter, huh?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a sad day.
Sad day. Do you store them or do you keep them at home or?
Well, we keep them at home, but we store them in our garage and,
Gotcha.
covers up on them, and that's it for the year.
Polish them up and put the cover on it and go have a good cry for a little while.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Go shovel the driveway.
Go shovel the driveway.
That's about it.
There's the one scene in the movie Fargo where they're looking for him, right? There's the old guy in town. He's scraping the ice off his driveway, and he's like giving him direction. It just totally reminds me of that. Just out there in your galoshes, slobbing off the driveway.
It's too early to do this shoveling crap.
I know. It's not even until we've had the turkey. And
Yeah.
I don't want to see Christmas stuff until I've had turkey either. I was at it wasn't even Halloween yet. They already had Christmas stuff
Yeah.
up at the Home Depot here, and I'm
Yeah,
like,
it's
whoa,
ridiculous.
whoa, 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 whoa! We ain't even had the candy day yet.
It's ridiculous. I know.
Christmas trees out here next to the jack-o'-lanterns.
Yeah,
We can't do that.
that's the way
So-
she goes.
That's how it rolls, man. Well,
Yeah.
Brian, we do this thing on our show where we torture our guests called the guest Q&A. So we've got some questions, and I know you've probably heard some of these questions already, so you might have some answers already lined out, but a couple of them may be questions you haven't
Oh, great.
studied for yet. So, oh, great. He's like, oh, there goes my study
I
plan.
studied for years on this.
Yeah, but don't you hate a professor that talks about all this in class, and then when you get there, not a single thing he said is on the test, and it's
Yeah.
blue book. You got to write it. You got to write an essay.
Yeah. They did that for my driving test.
You're trying your motorcycle test. Do you have to get a separate motorcycle license in Canada like you do here?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's
You have to
probably
get
a good
endorsement.
thing. That's probably a good thing. So the first thing we're going to ask you, Brian, is how long have you been playing guitar? We know it's been a while because you were in bands when you were younger, but we'll get to that in a minute. But also, as part of that, what was your inspiration to first try the instrument in the first place? What made you want to pick up a guitar?
Well, I guess it was pretty early when I got interested into music anyway, and it was kind of a weird thing because Kiss got me interested in music, but not because of the music. It was because of the whole their character
Imagery?
and stuff. And as a kid, that kind of intrigued me, and I was like, "What is this?" And I'd never seen anything like it. And then I got into it, and then I got into the actual music. And my dad always had like albums and the Eagles and Johnny Cash and all that stuff. But growing up, I wasn't like overly involved with music as far as like only until I hit probably about 10, 11 years old when I discovered Kiss that I really got interested and started to look that way. Because I was into I was into sports more as a younger kid before a teenager. I was racing motocross and stuff, and that was kind of
Nice.
my thing that I was dreaming to do. And then once I discovered music, all that stuff started to slide backwards, and music kind of took that front row. So I guess 13 years old or whatever, I would have got the first guitar, and it was I think it was a Hondo. Does that make sense? A Hondo guitar.
Yeah, Hondo. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hondo guitars. I remember Hondo
As far
guitars.
as I can remember, it was a white Strat looking guitar, and that's the first
In
thing
fact,
I did
I
when I
don't,
took
I
it
don't
home.
think they were actually horrible guitars, were they? They were they
Well,
made in Japan, Japanese made
I
guitar?
couldn't play it word shit, so it
Didn't matter,
it
yeah.
could have been
When you're a little kid,
broomstick.
I still
at that
can't play
point.
worse shit.
Yeah. But I took it home. It was a white Strat looking guitar, and the first thing I did is I took electrical tape and I started taping the whole thing to make it look like a Eddie Van Halen.
Oh, you striped it out with some black
Yeah.
tape.
Yeah,
There you go. That's so rock and roll, dude.
I know, right? And then I stand in front of the mirror with it, and I, think, yeah, here we
I
go.
look good.
Yeah.
I look good.
But
Yeah.
about 13 years old, and that would have been my first guitar. But I didn't stay playing guitar for very long, and I took a few lessons, like 2 or 3, and I just wasn't getting into it. And in high school, I knew as soon as I got into music, when I get into something, it's like 100%. It doesn't matter what it is. I go all out. And I knew at that point that I needed to find somebody that was way better than me and already had something going. So I met a guitarist in high school, and he was like the guitarist of the town. I lived in a little small town, and he was like probably the best guitarist there. So I knew I had to hook up with that guy. And once I did, he was playing guitar, and he said, "Hey, you should try bass." And then I said, "Whatever it takes, I'm going to do. I want to be in a band. I want to be playing live." And so I hooked up with him, and he taught me how to play bass. And then I started playing bass. I sold the guitar, and I got a bass. And probably from 14 years old on, I was playing bass. So I only played guitar really as a kid for maybe 1 year or so, 13, 12 years old. That's it.
Then you switched over to bass. How long did it take before you switched back?
I only switched back to guitar after the band that I was in last, Smear, broke up in 2007.
So you were the bass player in Smear.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. I
Yeah.
thought you were the guitar player.
No, I didn't play guitar I started playing guitar in 2018 again. That was
I don't want to get ahead of myself, but who's your favorite bass player?
favorite bass player.
Yeah, was there somebody that played that when you started getting good at it that you just liked the way they played?
Well, when I started, I was more into the rock and roll image of it. So people like Nikki Sixx and stuff, they're not really technical bass players, or
Right.
you wouldn't consider them like the Eddie Van Halens of the bass world, but
Right.
just the way that they played on stage and they carried themselves and that whole rock thing that they were doing, those were the people that I kind of, and Kiss obviously was a big influence. And
Sure.
so
Gene stomping around in his
Yeah.
dragon boots, spitting blood, and with this big old giant axe bass,
yeah.
ready to decapitate somebody.
Yeah. But once I started playing bass and I started to do, more of learning it and playing more technical and stuff, people like Geddy Lee, obviously, they were just, people that were icons in my opinion.
Well, yeah,
Bass,
that
right?
guy. Yeah, he's playing bass, keyboards, pedals, and singing all at the same friggin' time.
Yeah. Unreal.
Chicken Guitars wants us to ask if you picked up the bass intentionally or to fill a need. Well, you kind of picked it up to fill a need because that way you could be in the dude's band.
Yeah. I just
Right?
wanted to be in the band with the best musician in town. And I knew if I did that, then I would get further up to where I wanted to be in my dream of playing in a rock band and playing live and making it a career at some point.
What was that first bass guitar you had?
The first bass
Remember?
guitar, yeah, it was a red bass, and it was from a company it was called the Phantom. So I don't know if that was the company name, but on the headstock it just said Phantom. So it was a real like bargain basement type of thing, but that's all I could afford back then, and I just did what I did. My first real bass was a Charvel.
Oh, cool.
So after about a year, getting into it and started playing live and getting better, I bought a Charvel bass.
Cool. So it doesn't do me any good to ask you if you still have either one of those because I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure you don't have them anymore.
No,
Along those lines, what was the first album that you ever got? Now you said your dad had Eagles and other bands like that, or albums like that or music like that at the house that you could listen to. But what was the first band? And you said I need that. I need that album.
The first album that I bought with my, or I got allowances and stuff, and I saved an allowance or whatever, and went out and bought it myself at the store, was Kiss Alive. The first
Kiss Alive, same for me.
Yeah.
Same for me.
And I still have that album. I still have it at home.
Actually, I bought my Kiss Alive with my lawnmower money.
Did you? Yeah.
Yeah, I think I
Yeah.
paid because it was a double album. It wasn't as inexpensive. It was like $11 or something.
Yeah, exactly.
I
Right.
still have all the poster and the fold out and
Oh, do
everything.
you?
I have all the stuff in it. Yeah, it's up
I
there in
still
the
have the
frame. I
album.
keep it in this frame up there.
I got the album, but I don't have the poster and stuff.
You don't have the paper, the posters and
No.
stuff. Yeah, I think it's kind of beat up on the cover a little bit. Not
Yeah,
too
me
bad,
too.
and the record's a little. It still plays. It's a little rough. Play
Yeah.
a lot, man. I got play a lot.
Yeah, I haven't played a vinyl record for so long. I don't even know. Like, I don't even own a record player. So
Chicken
don't-
Guitars wants to know how much I charged him a lawn. I think it was like $5.
yeah,
But this was in the 70s. $5 was a lot more than $5 now. It's like more like $15
yeah.
or $20, right? I mean, I could get a lot of candy and comic books for $5, man, because comic books were 50 cents or 75 cents.
Oh yeah,
Candy was 50 cents, quarter.
yeah. My grandfather would give me like $1 or something to mow his lawn, and
Yeah,
I
you'd be like,
feel like I was rich. Like,
yeah,
oh,
$1. I could get 4 things.
yeah, exactly.
Now you can't even get a piece of gum.
Yeah, bottle of water.
Yeah, a bottle of water. You
Exactly.
have to pay the taxes. You need like $1.04 to get the bottle of water now.
Imagine if you're in Canada.
So first album. Let me ask you this question, Brian. So we all know you, everybody in the chat. We know you like playing your music and you're big into photography, which is what you're doing in Toronto right now.
Yeah.
We know you like riding your motorcycles is one of your other big hobbies. Tell us something else about yourself that we don't know. Is there another hobby that you have, like parasailing or bear hunting or scuba diving or mountain climbing? Something
Nope.
like that?
Nothing that extreme.
Nothing that extreme.
No.
Well, you did motocross. We didn't know that.
Yeah, I
we
did
knew you rode
motocross.
motorcycles, so that's not shocking.
Yeah. And I tried to get back into motocross just a few years ago, and that didn't work out. My
That
body,
didn't work.
no,
Yeah.
my body said, no, we're not doing
Takes-
that.
takes longer to recover.
Oh.
Right. Morgan Steve says skydiving.
Yeah, well, what I was doing, I almost skydived off that motocross because I got back into it and I got on a track and I thought I could do everything I was doing as a kid and I jumped a big friggin' jump and obviously I didn't land it. I landed on my head and I got home. I drove myself back home and I was sore and I had a concussion and everything, but I
Hurt your
drove
neck
myself.
too.
I drove back home and I sat in that chair and my wife walked in and she came around the corner and she looked at me and she could see I was all scraped up and everything. She said, I don't even have any sympathy for you. You know what to do. And the bike was for sale the next week.
Yeah.
It was
She's like, you did it to yourself. Don't even want to hear about it.
Yeah, I told you and you didn't listen. You went ahead. So I learned.
Wifey, Dano, New Jersey says you went moose tipping. Weasel slapping. Are those hobbies in Canada I'm not aware of? I don't know either one of those.
Yeah, there might be.
Moose tipping. That sounds dangerous.
It might be. I got into RC racing.
Moose are big. They don't play.
I know they're big.
Oh my goodness gracious. All right. Let me ask this. So this may circle back around to the base question. I don't know. Because what you kind of told us it was imagery for you when you first got started, but now obviously you're a talented musician and guitar player. We all know that. If you could possess someone else's talent for 24 hours, steal their licks or their inflection or the way they play for 24 hours to have some fun with, who would you choose?
Oh, I'd probably choose Eddie for sure. Eddie Van.
Eddie.
Yeah.
Really? Because he's so much different than anybody else. That would be an interesting 24 hours, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and I just like not even his lead playing, but his rhythm playing is just so.
Right.
When you really listen to what he's doing, it's like
incredible.
Yeah, it's amazing the stuff that he was doing, even back at that time. And you know, I think he was one of the most creative guitarists that ever lived. And I guess if I could be like a 5% of that, I'd be quite happy.
Yeah, wouldn't we all?
Yeah.
No kidding. Yeah, I think that Eddie's the one of these kind of guys that, you know, if you either have it or you don't, and he was born with it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Of course, he busted his ass too. He was like Slash. He took the thing he took it to the toilet with him. You know, he took the guitar everywhere he went, constantly. Like Michael Jordan walked around with his basketball everywhere he went. Eddie walked around with his guitar everywhere he went.
That's all he wanted to do. That's right.
That's all he wanted to do. Right. All right. Last question. This is the standard deserted, and this could be hard for you because you got some choice gear. So deserted island question. With electricity, you get to take one guitar. Now these don't have to be guitars you own, but why would you need a guitar you don't own? One amp, one pedal, one album to listen to, and then you get one miscellaneous luxury item to take to the island. What would you take?
The guitar.
Motorcycle. If it was a big enough island, you could ride your bike around in a
I
circle.
don't. Is there a road on that island, or is it just sand?
I don't know. You can make it. It's a deserted island. It's not big. It's like a palm tree, small generator.
Yeah. Well, the guitar for me is, you know, an R9 or the actual Les Paul.
Real thing.
The real thing.
Real 59. A real 1959.
Yeah. As far as the amp, I've always liked the Marshall JCM 800, like the real deal.
The real deal.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And pedal, I think the Helix for me is your pedal. You get that, and you're.
This is the Helix trifecta show right here. We all have them now. So
that's what I would.
In fact, you said the JC the what is it, the Brit 2204 on the Helix is probably why I've been playing the most.
Yeah.
Because I like that with my Les Pauls. I can get the 70s or the 80s thing just by turning the gain.
Yeah, it's a great model. I know.
Yeah, it's a great model. Right.
A
little bit of reverb or no, a little bit of delay or no. You can, mix and match it. And that's one of the few factory patches that I really like. That, the Rev and the Cali.
The Cali.
Those are the three.
Yeah.
There's some other ones on there. There's a Supro on there I've tried. And so much stuff. I can't even get through all of it yet.
I change in a couple of weeks. I'll try something else, and then I start to experiment with that for a couple of weeks, and I find good settings, and It's fun. Man. That's what it's about.
It
That's
is.
why we have it.
It is fun, absolutely, and it's saved me money already on pedals.
Yeah, I know, right? You don't have to go and buy a pedal every 2 weeks now.
So we got R9 or real 1959.
Yeah,
We got a Marshall JCM 800. I assume if we're going to take that, we're taking a real one, and we're going to take a 4x12.
yeah,
I mean, if you're taking a cab,
you got
got
it.
to haul it. You get a roadie. It's
Yeah.
not like you got to swim it over there on your back.
Yeah, it's not gonna go far.
It's not gonna work. It's gonna sink. You get one album to listen to. What are you gonna take? What's the one? Not so much your favorite, but the thing you can't get tired of right away because you're gonna be stuck out here.
Yeah, really. That's a tough one. It really is a tough one. But the one album that I've listened to since I was a kid, and I've listened to all through the years, and I've never really got sick of it is the Skynyrd stuff. I always find something in that music that I don't really get sick of. Other than Freebird, I kind of got sick of that. But
it's just because they overplayed it.
Yeah.
It's like any other song that gets overplayed, you get sick of hearing it, right?
yeah, but
Plus,
other
it
than
goes
that-
on. It's a really long song.
It's 14 minutes.
Yeah,
Is it?
it's a little long for radio.
You know what though? I saw Skynyrd last summer again, and when they play that song, it's just magical, man. These
Well,
guys,
yeah, when they play it live, everybody's waiting for it.
yeah, it's
I
awesome.
mean, that's the cliche of all cliches.
Yeah.
Somebody shouting out, "Play
I
Freebird,"
know,
right?
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh,
Soda says it's 3 songs in one.
Yeah,
It
really is.
It's like Metallica songs. It's 3 songs in one.
yeah.
Metallica songs are like that too.
They're an awesome band. I love them. And the luxury item.
Yeah, luxury item.
Well, I'm assuming this is a desert island. There's no road.
It's a warm climate. You don't need like your winter coat on this island. It's
Well,
not like in the Bering Sea. We're talking Caribbean. We're not gonna freeze you out.
Well, I like motorcycles and toys and stuff, so I'm gonna go with the solar powered jet ski.
Ooh, there you go.
So that way I
just-
can always get out there and have fun.
Just hit the surf, man.
Yeah,
Guess you could go out there and fish and whatever.
yeah,
Feed yourself.
have some fun while you're out there. After you
Have some
put
fun when I'm out there. That'll be
five-
all right. Solar panel, they'll probably won't be too long till they'll have you got a generator. You just need a rechargeable electric
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, exactly. That works. That'll
They'll
work.
have that. Tesla's probably already working on that.
Well, they might have heard our show here, so we should have
We
patented.
should have, you know what? We should have patented that.
Yeah.
PAF, baby.
Well, there you go.
All right. So thanks for the answers, Brian. I think hopefully everybody learned a little bit about you. We probably already know you so well, all of us, that we didn't
Wow.
find out too many big surprises, but a couple. I didn't know that Kiss was kind of your first introduction into the rock scene, which I know it was for Hack and
For a
myself as
lot of
well.
people,
So,
yeah.
but that has a lot to do with our age too, which
Yeah.
we'll keep secret.
I'm only
All right.
27, so
Well, that moves us on to the next segment of the show. And if you guys have been paying attention, I'm sure you're all subbed to our buddy up here, DR Guitars, my co-host. And if you're not, you should be. And by the way, did we throw Six String Brian's link to his channel up in the thing? Not that there's anybody here that probably isn't already subbed to him, but if you aren't, what the hell's wrong with you? What kind of problem do you have?
yeah.
Screw it. Come on.
I think
So
they
throw
all-
that up. But
Yeah,
if you
I got it.
if you noticed last week, Dave put out a pretty cool video where he did kind of a pickup shootout without letting us know which guitars he was playing through for our ears, and asked us to try to decide which of the 4 sounded the best to us. And of course, we also discussed in the green room that with the all the different compression through StreamYard or what OBS or once it gets into YouTube, you don't get the true in the room sound. But I watched it and I could tell a difference between them, and I had my couple of favorites picked out. So tonight, Dr. Dave's tips and tricks is actually going to be pickup shootout reveal, and maybe we'll see some new hardware as part of this, huh, Dave?
Maybe.
Maybe.
It's
So
possible. It's
take it
possible.
away, brother.
Okay, so the not to be a Debbie Downer, but the video didn't get a lot of people commenting like I'd hoped. But the overall consensus was guitar number 2. So I said that the results may shock some of you. So guitar number 2 is this.
And that's the one that got the most votes, was your
This
Ibanez.
this is the one that got the most votes. The pickups in here are Tesla or Iron Gear Tesla Sharks. So they're basically Alnico 2 kind of PAF kind of clone. They're really modeled after the Slash Duncan set, the AL whatever, or AF whatever they are. I don't remember the numbers. But these are also the cheapest pickups, the least expensive pickups in the 4 guitars. So these you can get them for about $80 for the set shipped to the States. IronGear.com.
So Joe says, so that was the number 1 voted for. Joe Hervey says, what was number 3?
We're getting there.
We're getting there.
We're gonna get
I will
there.
say 3 was my favorite, followed closely by number 4.
Okay.
I had wrote down when I listened that number 2 was a little too bright for my taste.
Okay. Number 3. Good old Burstbucker 1 and 2.
There you go. Les Paul. That's why it sounded good to me. There you go, Joe. It was a Les Paul.
There you go.
Hey, Dwight. Hey, R2, R3. What's up, guys?
Number
Beanie
4.
Maid. Go ahead, number 4.
Number 4?
Oh, yeah, number 4. Okay. Now, you're going to have to tell us the story on this one here. When we get through all the way through, we'll circle back to that.
So there's a few of you guys that know what this is out
The
there.
majority of them don't, I expect.
Most of you don't, but I know a few of you do. Actually, somebody, I forget who it was, asked me I think it was Soda, asked me if you were going to see it. Here you go, Soda.
We'll see more here in a minute.
And lastly, number 1, the least favorite.
That's shocking. That is the shocking result, because
There you
I
go.
also had number 1 as my least favorite of the 4. And
There you
wouldn't
go.
even- You wouldn't think that going in, right? But that's what makes
Yeah.
the blind sound test fun.
That's what makes it fun. You're not influenced by what name's on the headstock. You're not influenced by what you think is, what you have in your head. That's why I wanted to do this.
Now, in your own mind, in the room when you were doing the video, which one did you think sounded the best?
by
you
far,
like the new one.
by
Right.
far, and I'll tell you why. The pickups in here do something that the other ones don't, and it's the clarity. It's under high gain, they don't get muddy. You don't lose the mids. You maintain the articulation. You don't get those ice picky highs. You don't get those. I shouldn't say ice picky, but you don't get those. You don't get those just not pleasant highs.
I know what you're talking about.
That's what I thought on number 2, and that's why I'm not a big fan of. I mean, they're not bad pickups. I'm just not a big fan of them. But this one, it's got that. If you guys know, I love the sound of PAFs. Love it, love it, love it. And if you guys know what one of the things you listen for in a PAF is when you play a big open chord, you'll hear that B and G string, the two little strings, you'll hear them just ring, and they just kind of hit you in the face. And that's what real PAFs do. They do the same thing. They maintain their clarity throughout, and you can hear the articulation, you can hear the clarity, and these have that all day in spades. These, Bobby, they're called P and AFs, patent not applied for. Tune in next week, and we're gonna have the guy that winds those, that built this. We're gonna have him on our next week's show. But
yeah, that'll be a good show. And he also is on YouTube. And at the end of the show, we'll throw a link to his page up, because the guy's building some really nice guitars. As you can see there, show him a little bit more, but tell him about the guitar.
So it's all mahogany. Got Grover tuners. It's got a roller,
like an antique gold. What's
you
call that?
Yeah, it's an antique gold. It's
is it a metal flaky?
Yeah,
a little
there
bit.
You go. Yeah, no, it's small flake, but it's kind of like the Kramer with the flake. Yes, Bobby, that's correct. Ebony board, roller, like I said, roller saddles on the bridge.
That's nice. I didn't notice that detail. Wow.
There you go. Yeah, roller saddles.
I didn't know it was ebony. I didn't know it was an ebony board either.
Oh yeah, it's nice. Ebony board. Yeah.
What would you say the neck shape compares to?
Somewhere between the 50s and the 60s.
In between an RO and an R9.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much perfect. It's
not giant.
It's not giant. It's not pencil thin. It's comfortable. There's not a lot of shoulders on it, so it's for me it's quite comfy.
And maple neck, or is that mahogany? Unfinished mahogany?
Yeah, unfinished.
Is it a satin or just like a hand sanded?
It's a satin. Yeah, it's nice and smooth.
So, well, we'll see a lot more about these guitars and this brand, and hear from the guy who actually makes them next week. But we know they're reasonably priced as well, correct?
Yeah.
So, and he's got a lot of different cool models, not just this one.
He's got a couple of different models. So this is the Angel. He's got the Dark Angel, which is basically just kind of the hardware blacked out. He's got so there's like the Bumblebee, which is like a double cut junior. He's got what's the other one? Cardinal, which is a double cut special, basically. I'll drop the.
Crowbar asked, "What's the name of the builder?" It's Glenn at Guitar Bazaar. That's correct? Correct, Dave. Right? Yep. Guitar Bazaar, and we can probably find a link for you real quick and throw that up in the chat too, if you guys want to go check him out ahead of time, because he is going to be the guest next week. So Dave's been he's in your area, and Dave's been talking to him and hanging out with him and stuff. So. We think it'll be a pretty interesting show to have a guy, an actual guitar builder. He's a player too, but he's a builder.
Number 3. Guitar Hack asked what was number 3.
Chicken Guitar says she gets blacked out features if she has tequila. So I know at Gear Fest we're gonna get her drunk on. Oh my goodness, we can't do that.
No.
Right?
I think you can't.
So yeah, there you go. There's the pickup reveal, and like I said, I also have another
pickups too.
I have another set of these that are going into an existing guitar. Keep your eyes peeled. There's going to be a stream on that one.
Those are the same pickups that are in the Angel, just without covers. Correct? Without
covers, right? And these are double whites. They're not double cream. They're aged double whites.
Aged double whites.
Yeah.
Cool.
So,
All right. Well, we'll look forward to that next week. That should be a fun show. I think it'll be fun to pick the guy building guitars' brain. I think that'd be fun.
And-
it would be a lot of fun if you had the skill set and the tools.
focus.
Yeah, the ones that say the PANF
PNAF.
patent not applied for. That's great.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sweet. Oh,
Here.
there you go. It took me a second to hit the button.
Yeah, focus.
in, and push it in and pull it out. Push it in and yeah, there you had it. There you go. Patent not applied for.
Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. All right, man. Thanks for showing us the new guitar and revealing the pickup challenge. It is a little bit shocking to find the Les Paul Custom
Yeah.
to get last place up against an Ibanez and a new guitar brand that's just kind of a local builder guy. How many guitars do you suppose he makes in a year?
not many.
No.
Not a lot. The serial number on that is what is it? It is QAA00.
One? You got the number one.
Nice.
Cool. All right. Well, this is a guitar laden show tonight, folks. So I got a new guitar day. It was today. It was new guitar day at my house. And the sad thing about it is after I got here, I kind of had to let it sit in the house for about 3.5, 4 hours before I could open the box because it was so cold here. I was afraid, the condensation, so we let it warm up a little bit. So I have a new guitar to show you guys today. And I got a Friedman Vintage T today. Turn that light on so you can see a little bit better. And this is going to be our These Go to 11 segment because, as Ferris Bueller would say, if you have the means, I highly recommend picking one up. This one is I guess they just call it a gold. To me, it's kind of like a shoreline gold. It's not really it's not a metal flake gold, and this would be classified as a light relic on the Friedman guitars, and maybe you can see the checkering a little bit. And what I think is interesting,
Brian, I was gonna say you don't have to worry about it checking anymore.
no, it's already checked, man. That's what makes them cool. You don't have to worry about dinking them or anything else. But the main reason that I wanted this guitar, other than the color and all that, was the neck. My Cali back there, they almost have virtually the same neck, and the hand sand job, and just the size of it is the one neck that I picked up and thought, wow, if I could have these on every guitar, that would like if I had a signature Brian S model.
Yeah, there you go.
This would be the neck shape that it would get, right? Now this one has like the vintage style tuners, which this is something I think is weird. So my Cali with a Floyd and a locking nut has locking tuners, which is overkill with a locking nut. But then this one
It doesn't. Yeah.
could and should have locking tuners doesn't. But I will say these things are like butter and they're so accurate. I'm really, really impressed with the tuners. So really it's just a matter of string changes being a little bit more of a hassle, right?
Yeah.
And one thing I didn't realize when I bought it that I noticed right off the bat when I got it today, that they've started doing a little bit something different. So it's a gold guitar, but the silver background behind the logo on the headstock it's a gold guitar, but the background is silver on the background on the logo. And I noticed they had another one that was blue that had a similar thing going on. So I don't know if that's something they just started doing because I haven't really seen too many. Usually if you get a painted headstock, it's the same color as the body from them. Obviously this one's black with silver. So
Yeah.
just a cool little bit different. But yeah, I don't know, you guys, if you get a chance, and it's not like you could, this came from the Manhattan Guitar Center because it's the only one Guitar Center had. And that's the only place they had it. And I bought it at the store in town, but they shipped it from New York. I just went in there and bought it so that my guy would get the
Soda wants to know if it's heavy.
No, it's not heavy. It weighs about the same as the Cali, really. I'd say maybe 7.5, maybe. It's not heavy. really comfortable. I've been playing it all afternoon. The P90s these are Friedman pickups, so they're not just off the rack DiMarzios or Seymour Duncans or anything like that. They're Dave Friedman wound pickups, and they sound great. Really, really great. Of course, I'm kind of a bridge pickup guy anyway, most of the time. But yeah, man, really, really loving it. So I'm back down to 5. I had to sell one and let another one go, but I'm really happy. I think I made the right choice. So these go to 11 if you get the chance. Pick up a Friedman Vintage T. Obviously, in fact, our good friend Guitar Pit's got one for sale that's a pine. Sugar pine, and his is a standard Telecaster setup with the two single coils. If that's your thing, I pretty much I wanted another P90 guitar, so being able to get this neck with the P90s was the main attraction. So there it is, the new guitar. Obviously, I'll probably put some videos out.
I thought you were gonna hold out for a maple fretboard.
I was, but I tell you what, man, if you're going to hold out to look for a used Friedman guitar that's got exactly what you want, that's
You're
not
gonna be waiting a while.
white, black, or trans red, I didn't want those colors. I'd already got a white Cali. I didn't want another white one. I don't really like the flat matte black, and I don't really like trans red. And even the trans reds, they had like tortoiseshell on trans reds, too much red.
Yeah.
There was a gorgeous metallic red out there the other day, but it was one of the heavy relic jobs, and it was really beat up, just over the top beat up, and I didn't really want that either. So I saw this gold one. I kind of like the gold top theme. So I think it's a pretty guitar, and it feels really great. So
Nice, man. Congrats, dude.
pretty
Yeah,
happy.
congrats.
Pretty happy. New guitar days don't often suck.
No.
Right?
Occasionally they do, though.
Occasionally they do, but not. I kind of knew ahead of time what I was going to get. I've been down the road one time, so it was fun. It was fun.
That's
to get
awesome.
today. Yeah. And speaking of cool, overly expensive guitars, tonight we are going to do Red Hots, and tonight it's the pretentious
It's just red hot.
Red Hots
Oh my God.
tonight. So Dave, let me get some screen sharing activity
All
going
right,
here.
let me know when you're ready.
And, the first one's going to be the D model, right?
Yep, yeah,
Okay.
I got you.
All right.
I think I got them in order. So first up, we've got a Duesenberg USA Alliance Joe Walsh signature semi-hollow gold burst.
Metal
is a-
flake gold burst, baby.
Yeah, it is a mere $27.26.80 with $50 shipping.
Oh, they're giving it away.
Giving it away. Yeah. Now this
Look
is
at
this
those
is
knobs.
this is a cool guitar, man. I don't know, man. I just think that this thing just has like sexy written all over it.
Dude, check out the fretboard. Is that not Morse code? You're a Navy man.
Yeah, right.
It's freaking Morse code, isn't it?
That's crazy.
I bet it is.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what it
Duesenberg.
is. Probably.
Of course, if you're not familiar, the name Duesenberg was actually a really expensive car
Yeah.
that you actually bought. You would buy the mechanics of the car, and then they would custom make the body. And so all the Hollywood stars all had them because they all had basically custom coaches.
Wow.
And I don't know how they got, if it's the same family or if it has anything to do with the guitars at all, but that's the story with the name that I know as far as Duesenberg goes.
Yeah, it does. It does look a little bit like a Duojet.
It does, yeah.
It's got kind of that. Got kind of that
Gretsch.
Duojet.
It's got that Gretsch
Yeah.
thing working.
Yeah, but it's a dual action truss rod. It's a spruce laminated spruce body. The back and sides are flame maple.
Yeah.
Fraser, Michigan, not far from the Canadian border.
That's too pretentious for me.
Too pretentious
It's,
for you. Do you
Mhm.
have any semi-hollow guitars?
No, I don't.
This is your next one there,
No.
Brian.
No, I'm not kidding.
No.
I'm serious. Does anybody know Morse code? Because I
I
bet
don't.
you. Look at the fret inlays. So you got dots and dashes, right?
Right.
Has to be. I should get my Eagle Scout son down here to decode the fretboard for us. All right. There's
All
the
right.
first one. That's the Duesenberg Joe Walsh.
Yeah.
This next one is our good friend Guitar Pit's guitar that he has for sale. Let me drop that one out. This is the Chesapeake, the
Severin.
Knags Chesapeake Severin, and I believe they're all named after rivers that are named after Indian tribes or something to that effect. Is how Knags names their guitars.
Really?
Let me get this one pulled up for you. It's a beautiful guitar. So this is Chris's guitar that he's trying to move
Yep.
on from now.
Wow.
Because he just brought in some really cool new guitars. Look at
Yes,
this
he
thing.
did. So this is a Tier 2 Severin, flame top, one-piece alder body, nitro finish, set neck. Evidently, the neck is really flamed.
Yeah, we'll get there. I was checking out the cool inlays.
Yeah, the diamonds.
Look at the nice cuts on the body. I bet it's
Yeah.
really comfortable.
Yeah.
Nice. Look at that bridge.
Wow.
Of course, Chris has got video of this guitar.
Yes.
You can go watch it.
Yeah,
and,
you can
looks like
hear how
a
it sounds.
maple pick guard. It's
Maple
kinda
pick
cool.
guard. Yep. Maple laminate pick guard.
Yeah.
Uh,
Gold.
rosewood fretboard.
That's a beautiful piece of rosewood too.
Yeah,
Look
it
at
is.
That. Rich
That is
red.
gorgeous rosewood.
Wow.
Yeah. Almost
I wonder what
reminds
the frets. I wonder if they're stainless
They're
steel.
EVO. They're EVO gold.
Okay, those EVO like Kiesel, like the Kiesel. You can get those in Kiesel guitars.
Mm-hmm.
The headstock is different. I'm not gonna say I hate it. I think it would grow on you. I know that's all inlay, by the way. That's not painted on, and neither's the star. That's inlay. I remember watching Chris's video and him talking about how that was all intricate
Yeah,
inlay
that
work.
neck is insanely flamed. That's a nice flame neck on that.
Yeah, we haven't even got to the back of the neck yet. Chris takes
Yeah.
good pictures. Look at that.
Yeah, he does.
Bam! Bam! Get you some.
Yeah, that thing just lights up, man. That's pretty awesome.
And then check out the wow, look at that. Obviously it's got a wing, but it's
Yeah.
one piece of maple
Two
for
wings.
the neck. And now check out the access too. I mean, that's
Yeah.
kind of cool. These guys, Nags don't play, man. Wasn't he a top luthier for
He was,
PRS or
yeah,
something?
he worked for PRS for a while.
Yeah, he's a Paul Reed Smith guy, and then
Yeah.
man, it's in mint condition too.
I guess you can tell by some of the quality.
Number 123.
All the goodies. Looks like I remember Chris changed out the knobs. He wasn't a big fan of the fancy. It came with those blue knobs, I believe.
Yeah.
And there's the video.
Yep. And I'm sure Chris will cut you a deal. You just gotta,
So
you gotta make
boys,
him an
all right,
offer.
he's got it marked down to something. Listen, them things are
They're not
closer
cheap.
to they're closer to 4 brand new than they are 27.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What? And it, he's got it marked very good. Did you see a mark on the thing?
Not hardly at all.
No.
So he's probably ranking it a little bit lower just to be on the safe side.
Yeah.
So,
Because
cool.
you know how people are.
Super cool guitar. So good price, and it's our good friend Chris. So even if you only know somebody that might be interested in that guitar,
Yeah,
let them know.
pass it
'cause
along.
I don't think
Yeah. There's your beater, man.
Yeah, there's your beater hack. Pretentious beater.
No, the next one actually is your beater.
Are we going with the C model?
Yes.
All right, let me pull that one up. This would be the Collins.
Collins City Limits.
Yeah,
20,000.
Collins.
Yeah, 2018, 2019 aged lemon burst.
Oh wow, look, it's only $5,500.
Perfect.
Here's your beater. Yeah. Yeah, these things, man, they're something special though.
Yeah.
If you've never played a Collins, you should play one. They're
Where would you play one of those?
fantastic guitars.
BB Maid says he pimped out a road worn Strat today in my honor. It turned out great. I've been making fun of Fenders, the $1,900 Stratocasters since
Yeah.
they came out. I don't mean nothing by it though. It's just Gibson takes a beating every chance everybody
Yeah.
gets, and this
Yeah.
turnabout is fair play.
It is.
Check
No,
this one
you-
out with the inlays, man. They're almost kind of a little bit of a lightning bolt thing happening there.
It's the dual parallelograms.
Yeah.
That's what they are.
Hack, is that your lemon burst color, or actually this
That-
isn't really very bursty, is it?
But that's a lemon burst. It's still a lemon burst.
Yeah.
Lemon burst. You don't really have a lot of color on it. It's almost all yellow.
It's got
It's
a
just-
little bit of Slash,
Yeah, really.
Appetite, and Joe Perry custom shop look to it.
Like yeah,
The top.
yeah.
I've never seen one of those in person. Like, I don't know where you even play one of those.
You got to
Collings.
find Collings dealers.
Yeah.
There's a few Collings dealers. Yeah, but when I lived in Oregon, Mackenzie River Music was a Collings dealer, and they had quite a few Collings in there, and I played a few.
No.
And
Oh, I see
they're
they're trapezoids or what have you,
Oh yeah.
Dual-
overlaid.
overlaid parallelograms. Yeah.
Kind of a interesting.
Mhm.
They went with a little notch there just for fun. It's,
Yeah.
it's all nice and smooth, and then like notch.
Yeah.
But the Trice Rod cover's cool.
Yeah.
That's classy.
Yeah.
I don't get the notch. Is that a ding? Did they do that on purpose?
Yeah. Really.
Oh, so he put plexiglass. Look at those big old, what are those, the Bumblebee
No, they're
capacitors
yeah,
or something?
Okay, they're not bumblebees, but yeah, they're PIOs, paper and oil caps.
No.
That's different.
I saw that he had the original covers in the case, so for some reason he
Yeah.
thought it would be cool to put the plexiglass ones on there.
Yeah, there's
I'm
the-
still wondering about the headstock, though. What is up with that?
It's just their design on their 3x3s.
Hmm.
Yeah, and they do cut that little notch in there.
So that's not a ding?
No, that's not a ding. That's a.
Okay.
That's,
Hey, I'm just asking. It's $5,500. If
Yeah.
it's dinged, I want to know.
yeah, it's a lawsuit avoidance notch. Is what it is.
Yeah, it's a lawsuit avoidance notch.
for sure, for
It's a
sure.
patent not applied for notch.
Right. Yeah, almost like a scroll. Yeah, Sean.
Oh man, I'll tell you
Carved
what,
on
they
the
have
side.
one of these. This next one here, they have one of these at almost exactly like this one at my local Guitar Center, and it is.
Hey,
again,
there's Tone King. Hey, little.
Hey, Toe King, what's up,
What
buddy?
up, brother?
It's even. This one's closer to $4,000 at my local Guitar Center than 2,500. Now,
Yeah.
ain't that bad, boy.
Yeah, those. There you go.
They're nice.
Talk about your pretentious.
Now,
I don't know.
look,
Have you
if
ever
that
played
had
Tom
Pete-
Anderson? Brian?
Tom Anderson. I have,
You
yeah.
have?
When I worked at Sam Ash, we had one in there, a used one, and they've got 3 of them at my local Guitar Center in the Platinum Room. A
They're
Strat style,
nice
one
guitars.
just like this,
Yeah.
and I forget what the other one is. I forget what body shape it is. Oh, it's a single cut, but it's got some kind of crazy quilted top on it that I don't really care for. But they have one almost exactly like this. It's a little bit grayer instead of browner. Same guitar. And yeah, they're really cool. But they're not, again.
I really
This is a
wanted one of
really good
those.
price.
About a year ago, I almost bought one, and they're like, it was 5,500.
Yeah, they're not cheap, are they?
No.
But I tell you, so where Lawrence teaches, when I first went there, there's the music shop on one side, and then the very next is the lesson studio.
What's a Buzz Fenton tuning system?
It's a different way of tuning or something, right?
Yeah, it's a compensated tuning system.
It has low rise frets.
Yeah.
That's the kind of underwear I wear. Low rise. Too
But
much information.
I walked in the shop, and they're Tom Anderson dealer in the
Oh,
shop.
sweet.
And
Oh, sweet.
the sales guy's like, here, starts just chucking Tom Anderson's at me, and I'm looking at him like, man,
Chucking Tom Anderson's at me.
he's like, here, try this one, here, try this one, here, try this one. I'm like, dude, I'm not buying a $4,000 guitar today, man, but that's cool.
That's pretty. That is a really gorgeous guitar too.
It is a beautiful guitar.
Sweet one. So 2588. Where's this guy at? Oh, he's in Olympia,
He's
Washington.
in Washington State.
Washington, and he's got it marked excellent. Excellent. Ships to the lower 48. So you Canadians are out of luck.
Yeah, we're shit out of luck again.
You're out of luck again. hate when that happens.
That's a good price.
All right, we got one more to show you tonight.
One more.
If you're friends with me on Facebook, you probably already seen this guitar this week and you dumped that. So this one,
Hey, you know, it's got a G on the headstock, right?
Oh,
yeah, it's got a G on the headstock.
Yeah,
I
it's
saw,
got a
the,
G.
Oh,
I
there it is.
saw this thing on Reverb, and I
Man,
was like,
that is-
"What the
That is beautiful. I'm sorry, but that is just beautiful. I love that.
Rhino Gray
Rhino Gray finish.
Custom?"
God, that's gorgeous.
oh yeah, custom shop.
Hmm.
Boom! Got the whole volute thing
Wow.
working.
Yeah. I actually like that volute. I think it's kind of. I think it's a
Now,
great
there's-
idea.
There's a picture of one with the
Rhino.
so the debate on Facebook was whether gold was over the top. So there's what it
Nope.
would look like with if it didn't have gold.
Right.
If it was nickel or chrome, which I like nickel better, but boom.
I like the gold, man. I'm sorry, but I like the gold.
Yeah,
That's
I think on that color,
pretty-
it's okay.
On that color, that
Friggin'
gold
sharp,
just blings, man. It just shines.
fairly sharp. 4,013. He must be somewhere weird with the shipping. $217. Yeah, he's in Belgium.
Oh wow.
Belgium.
That's still, man. That's
You can't imagine they made too many of those.
yeah.
That may even be a order. You know.
Yeah,
you gotta
I'm
order
with
it.
you, Chris. I like the volute on those. I like that kind of diamond shaped volute. It's almost kind of who else? Said Martin does that, I believe.
Highfalutin Valutin. Crowbar said
But
highfalutin Valutin.
what it does, it puts that spine right down the center line of the headstock.
Mhm.
It's a
And
reinforcement for the
Yeah.
headstock break possibility.
yep, so he is.
Guitar Hack
I wish
says he'll take
they should
two.
do that on everyone. They should do that on every production model, if you ask me. But
It's a Rhino Volute. That's what R2 says. Rhino Volute.
Yeah.
All right. Man, I don't know, man. That thing's pretty freaking cool. But
yeah.
I think
Yeah, I would too. I like the gold, man. I like the gold on that.
you've got some guitars, Dave. You could sell 2 or 3, and probably the dude's taking an offer.
Yeah, I could.
I wonder how long it'd take to get here from Belgium.
yeah, really.
So that was the
Yeah,
Gibson
something like that.
Custom. Yeah, you could get a new custom. You could sell the black one and
Nope.
get a new one.
Nope.
Nope.
Ain't
No.
happening.
That was it. Even though it got last
Yeah.
place in the shootout, he's not parting with the custom.
It's fine.
I don't blame you for that, brother. I don't blame you for that. So that was the pretentious Red Hots for tonight.
I think Chris, the guitar pit, is more pretentious than I am. Sorry,
Yeah.
way more.
Well, Chris has got a different thing going. He likes to try everything. He's like Mikey. Let Mikey try it. Mikey will try anything, right? Which is
Yeah.
cool because we all get to indulge in trying all the stuff vicariously.
Vicariously
Chris's wallet.
Chris. Exactly.
Exactly.
So I teased him the other day because he put some guitars up on Reverb, and I said, "Dude, you got like $12,000 worth of guitars on Reverb. What the hell, dude? Did you buy
Crazy.
another? Did you buy a
Chris.
custom shop or something we don't know about?"
Hey, Chris. When are you gonna break down and buy a Duesenberg?
Chris says I'm filing for bankruptcy soon. Oh man, but I love Chris's channel, man. I look
Yeah,
forward
me
to his
too.
videos. I have fun going shopping with him. So
Yeah.
he usually shows me at least one guitar. I'm like, oh damn it! Now
Yeah,
see, I'm trying to stop at 5 and see what you did.
Yeah, I can't watch it. Too much.
I got a Cali because of him and Robert Baker, basically, and then now I got to have a Friedman T now.
I was gonna buy
He's
a
got-
for Andy Wood from him, but I was in just the middle of buying the R9 at that point. But I said can't do it. But I should have pulled the trigger on it. I regret it.
He's got a guitar right now that we didn't show on the because it's not pretentious enough
Yeah.
for the show tonight, so we didn't show it. But he's got the Kiesel Delos. That's kind of a gorgeous surf. That's the one where they just been making a run and then offering them for sale. They're not a order
Uh-huh.
guitar like most of the time you get a custom order or whatever. They've been making runs of them, but he's got one that's really cool. And I think he switched the pickups out in them too because he, like I, don't really care for the lithium pickups. He goes, I'm sorry, Zero.
Yeah, zero cool in real life said I bought a Sir because of the guitar, because of Chris, the guitar.
Chris's Danish Pete used to make him want a Duesenberg. I don't know that I've seen Pete play the Duesenberg. I've seen him play the Purple Telly all the time, but I'm newer to the game than you guys, so maybe that was pre.
No, he's played them several times, and man, they sound good.
Really?
He could play a dead stump.
Yeah,
with a spoon and make it sound
it's
good.
just like Kalen just said. Danish Pete could play a first act and make you want it.
Yeah, all of it. That's why he's on those videos, because whatever he plays, you're like, oh man, if I had that, I could sound like Dan. No, you can't. You're never gonna sound like Danish.
No, you won't sound like Danish Pete. Only Pete Honore will sound like Danish Pete.
All right, that brings us to the last episode of the show, which is quite lengthy. So we're going to be here
last episode, last segment.
The last segment, the last episode of the show didn't even make sense. Bourbon's starting to kick in. So,
got the bullet tonight, huh?
This is called, list a little bourbon. You know, we're taking it easy tonight. Got a big day tomorrow. So we got the Circuit Breakers segment of the show. We've got some fun stories tonight. Now, you're going to have to give me just a second to get lined out for all of the Name of Rock history. But tonight, we've got some cool rock history, and then we got some fun stories to share with you.
All right, ready?
You see that all right there?
Mm-hmm.
So, November 10th. Way back in 1960, Greg Allman received a guitar as an early present for his 13th birthday, which is December 8th.
So he was like you, Hack. He got his first guitar about the time he was 13 or so.
Yeah, that's about when I got mine.
Hack.
Too.
I said Hack. I meant Cote.
Yeah.
I got mine at 12.
I meant Brian.
So
cool.
It was 1987. I was 12. So 1979, Fleetwood Mac had the #1 album in the UK with Tusk.
Oh, I love that song.
Yeah, that's a killer song.
I can't remember right offhand what other songs are on that particular album, but I know that one's on there.
Yeah. And also in 1979, November 10th, the Eagles collected their 5th #1 song with Heartache Tonight, which was also their 8th top 10 in 16 releases. Wow. So think about that.
Top 10s out of 16, 50% going into top 10.
Is that?
Wow.
Yeah, 8th top 10 in 16 releases. Yeah. So yeah, that's 50% in the top 10. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's a great sing-along song, isn't it?
Yeah.
Everybody likes to sing along with that when they're driving down the road.
Yeah.
It comes on the radio.
And so we got a couple birthdays for November 10th, 1947. Greg Lake, singer-songwriter, bassist of King Crimson and Emerson, Lake and Palmer, and later producer, was born in Poole, Dorset, England.
The Lake and Emerson, Lake and Palmer.
Yep.
He's not cold. He's got the right idea.
Yeah. I hadn't seen the picture, so I haven't flipped it back and forth so I can see them. Also in 1947, Glenn Buxton, guitarist of the Alice Cooper Band, was born in Akron, Ohio.
Alice Cooper Band. I just saw Alice Cooper with Dan Rather on Access TV getting interviewed, and it was really good too. If you guys ever watched that show where Dan interviews rock stars now, and Alice is an interesting guy.
Yeah.
Very, very, very smart man.
Very intelligent man.
Very, very smart man.
Yeah.
And so that brings us to November 11th. Back in 1969, upon arriving in Phoenix, Arizona, Jim Morrison of The Doors was arrested by the FBI for drunken disorderly conduct aboard an airplane. Morrison was fined heavily and spent the night in jail.
What else is he got arrested everywhere he went?
And then 2 years later,
till Tampa, because then that was the end of that.
Yeah, right. 2 years later, in 1971, Led Zeppelin began a tour of Britain at the City Hall in Newcastle. The concert sold out before it was announced, when thousands of people turned up at the ticket office early after hearing a rumor of the show. The venue was forced to sell its tickets.
They had them printed, but the show hadn't been announced, and somehow it got out, and the place got raided. They had to sell them the tickets, or it was going to be a riot.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
November's 1971, 11th. So that was
Yeah,
what,
November
how many
11th.
years? 48 years ago,
Yeah.
something like that. God.
And then in 1972, on November 11th, Barry Oakley, bass player for Southern Rockers, the Almond Band, is tragically killed in a motorcycle accident. In a strange twist of fate, the incident occurred in the same location, basically a couple blocks away from where Dwayne Allman had died a year prior. Oakley was only 24 at the time of his passing.
Wow.
That's
Allman
crazy that
Brothers.
they were within a couple of blocks of each other, both
Yeah.
on motorcycles.
Yep. And that brings us to November 12th, which was yesterday. Back in 1990, Ron Wood, guitarist for the Rolling Stones, broke both of his legs when he was struck by a car 50 miles west of London.
Wow. I didn't know. I don't think I remembered that.
No.
And then yesterday was a special day. Back in 1945, a gentleman by the name of Neil Young was born in Toronto, Ontario, Canada.
Fellow Canuck.
Yeah,
Little
there-
Neil Young action.
I bet Toronto was a lot smaller back then.
That's not his birth picture, by the way.
No.
I just wanted
It,
he
it
didn't
could
come
be.
out looking like
It
that.
could be.
And that brings us to November 13th, which is today. Not really rock, but it's pretty significant history. 1935, Bing Crosby records Silent Night.
And never had to work again.
Yeah.
If he didn't want to, he could have just lived off the royalties the rest of his life. Although back then his contract was probably really shady. He probably got like a penny for every million copies sold.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And then in 1968, the Beatles animated movie Yellow Submarine opened in theaters.
We are living.
Don't quit your day job, Brian.
No.
It's the dumbest freaking song.
Also in 1968, Brian Jones, founder of the Rolling Stones, bought Cotchford Farms in Sussex, England.
And then
The
proceeded
place-
to drown in the pool.
Yeah, where A.A. Milne wrote Winnie the Pooh. Months later, Jones was discovered dead at the bottom of his swimming pool.
So the lady that wrote Winnie the Pooh in this house, and then
Yes.
he bought the house, and then he drowned in the pool.
Several months later, yeah. That brings us to November 14th.
He
Tomorrow.
wasn't 27, was he?
I don't remember.
Brian Jones?
I don't remember, to be honest with you.
Man, he flamed out, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Yeah. So November 14th, back in 1967, Pink Floyd opened for the Jimi Hendrix Experience on a tour of the UK. With the
Wow.
first show on this day was at the famous Royal Albert Hall in London.
Wow. That would have been
There
a
you
good. That would have been a good little tour to see in the theaters, because they were playing theaters and stuff. If
Crowbar.
that, clubs.
Crowbar, oh man, Drowning the Pool.
Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah, what's sad about that is half the guys in that picture are dead.
Yeah.
The two in the back, by the way. Sid Barrett on the right and Richard Wright on the left.
Well, Sid Barrett flamed out. He went insane. He took
Yeah.
entirely too much LSD,
Yeah.
He was already on unsteady ground, and
and then he just made it. He just
Yeah, he
made
just-
it worse.
yeah, he made it a lot worse. Yeah, poor Sid. But oddly enough, there's two Sids in that picture. Sid Barrett, upper right hand corner, and Sid Roger Waters in the lower left hand corner. Aha! There you go.
Ah,
Little history.
Floyd trivia. Which
both
one's
are
Floyd?
trivia, yeah.
Which one's Pink?
Neither. None of the above. All right, 1969, Led Zeppelin began to work on their third album, recording Since I've Been Loving You at Olympic Studios in London.
Playing a little Les Paul action. A little
Yes,
Jimmy
sir.
Les Paul.
And in 1981, The Police arrived at number one on the UK chart with Every Little Thing She Does Is Magic.
That was a good song. It got played a lot though.
Yeah.
Kind of overdid it. It was an MTV thing too.
Yeah.
In heavy
Heavy
rotation.
rotation, yeah.
Heavy rotation. They wore it
And
out.
that brings us around to November 15th, 1965. The Rolling Stones performed "Get Off of My Cloud," which aired on Hula Baloo on NBC TV on this date.
Check out the Firebird with the triple pickups.
Yeah.
That's Firebird 7.
Wow.
That's got the Maestro, Vibrola, and the 3 pickups. That's a Firebird 7.
They're both playing Firebirds.
It looks like, yeah, Brian Jones is playing a Firebird too.
I can't tell if his is a 5 or a 7. It's hard to tell in that picture, but
Yeah.
What's Keith playing? It's kind of is it a double cut or what the heck is that? Les Paul? Doesn't look like a Les Paul though because of the pick guard.
What?
The other guitar.
The bass player.
the bass
Oh,
player.
it's a bass player, yeah.
That's a bass.
Player.
That's
What's
why
it play? I can't tell in the picture because I'm looking at them real tiny.
It's a single cut bass.
It's like a Gibson.
Yeah, it looks like a
Is it
Gibson
it's
single cut.
Gibson bass.
Yeah, looks like a Les Paul bass.
Yeah.
All right. Sweet.
All right. And in 1974, the Doobie Brothers released a single, "Blackwater."
That's a good one.
I love that song. Great
That might
song.
be my favorite Doobie Brothers song.
Oh, it's just freaking killer. The guitar work in that is good. The harmonies are. Oh, yeah. Okay. Off that soapbox. That brings us to 1986. Bon Jovi had their first top 10 with "You Give Love a Bad Name."
That's the first song I played live in a band.
Is it
Oh, that's
really?
awesome.
Six
Hey,
String Brian trivia.
And I
Hey,
played,
there we go.
You know what the gig was? I was playing a high school pageant. So at intermission, while all the girls were doing their stuff, and there's an intermission, my band came up and played that song.
Sweet. Did all the
Nice.
girls go crazy?
We went crazy, but we played like shit. And I was like, I don't know how we pulled that one off, but
Nobody. If you hadn't told us, nobody would have known.
yeah.
And 2 years later, 1988, Queensryche opened for Metallica as their tour of North America kicked off at the Toledo Sports Arena in Toledo, Ohio.
I saw that.
Toledo, Ohio.
Oh, you saw that
You
tour?
saw that?
Yeah.
You saw
That
tour?
show,
Not that show.
but
One
that
thing.
tour.
Well, yeah, Queensryche was opening up for Metallica.
I
Nice.
don't know if I ever saw. I don't think I saw. Ever saw Queensryche. For some reason, I never got into them.
Queensryche's got some pretty good stuff, man.
Yeah, just some bands you just don't
Yeah.
get into for whatever reason.
And we have one birthday for November 15th, 1949. Steve Fossen, founding member and bassist of Heart, was born.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I forget which one of the girls he was in a love affair with. Because the guitar player was in a love affair with one of the sisters, and the bass player was in a love affair with the other one.
Oh, yeah.
And there was a lot of angst, and that's where some of their best songs come from.
Well, that's like Fleetwood Mac with Lindsay.
Fleetwood
And,
Mac, same way, yeah.
well, with Lindsay and Stevie, and then with John and what's her name?
Yeah.
Christine, because they were
Crazy.
married.
They were all sleeping with each other.
Well, John and Christine were married when they in the band. John and Christine McVie, and of course there was Mick was kind of doinking Stevie on the side, and it was just
A little weird.
It was a cocaine. It was a cocaine and it was a cocaine.
cocaine fueled. Yeah, cool, totally
Yeah,
cocaine
party.
fueled. Yeah,
Epstein Island.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that brings us to November 16th, Saturday. 1968, Electric Ladyland by the Jimi Hendrix Experience moved into the #1 position on the album chart, sparking an interest in his first album, Are You Experienced, which re-entered the top 10 at number 8 after 65 weeks of release.
Wow.
Probably
more
gonna
than
have to
a year
mark this
later.
video as adult content now because that's the actual fold out inside, and a lot of people don't realize it because you didn't get that everywhere. It was
No.
censored most places. That
Yeah.
was not. So that's the original inside of Electric Ladyland.
Yeah. And in 1977, Rush was awarded gold albums for 2112 and All the World's a Stage and A Farewell to Kings.
All at this in the same year.
Yeah.
Three gold records
Three
right
gold
off the
records.
bat. Boom, boom, boom.
So can
Wow.
we say they hit the big time?
Yeah.
I think that'd be safe to say. That would definitely be safe to say.
And that was 1977.
All in the name of rock history for this week.
All in the name.
In history. Well, this next one's kind of an interesting show because a story because there's been rumors going around for a while, and that's that Ace and Peter might possibly or have been invited, and or there has been correspondence passed around offering to have them at the last show, and also not just them, but every living member that has ever been a member of KISS. So
I
the
wouldn't
story
hold my
goes.
breath for Vinnie Vincent. Vinnie Vincent.
I doubt, yeah. I don't
So
know.
what happened was they're going to play their last ever show as currently scheduled on July 17th, 2021 in New York City at Madison Square Garden. And their manager, Doc McGee, says that all living former members of the band have been approached about taking part in the final concert, including Vinnie Vincent. We want to include everybody that's played in KISS to celebrate the 45 years of the band, so we're still looking at what we're going to do for those final shows, he said in a Q&A session aboard the most recent KISS cruise. According to McGee, Ace Frehley and Peter Criss have both been talked to about participating in some form, but he acknowledged, and this is Doc McGee, he said it's pretty difficult. How do you do it when you have 2 Catmen and 2 spacemen? But we'll figure it out because it's very much part of the heritage of the band, and we want to try to do it. So Ace was quoted in 2018 saying he would only seriously consider taking part if he took back his makeup, costume, and character, which McGee already acknowledged was going to be difficult. And Ace also said, obviously, he doesn't think Peter could play a 2-hour show, but if he could come out and play Beth or sing Beth or play Black Diamond and sing that would be pretty freaking cool.
Yeah.
So anyway, let's hope they figure something out, because if it's going to be really, really the last show, let's have the real Ace and the real Peter if they're able to do it. And, let's forget about the money one night and let's just do it. Right?
I know,
But
right?
I don't know if the egos will allow it, but I think it'd be something cool. So hopefully they can work it out. So they got a couple of years to work it out because it's not till 2021. Summer 2021 is the last gig.
Wow.
So,
That's a long time, though.
yeah, they're going to be on the road for a while. They're getting ready to go to Australia right now. So.
Wow.
So next one up is another kind of legendary rocker story here.
Ozzy kind of forced to cancel some European tour dates.
All of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least the January and February dates.
I hate to say it. I don't think Ozzy's going to be with us for that long.
I don't think so either.
Yeah, he says he's getting better, but he's pretty much kind of stuck in bed right now.
Yeah.
Is what the quotes are.
That's what it says. Yeah. 70-year-old frontman said last week he still plans to play the American leg of the tour beginning in May, and then he's bored stiff, being stuck in bed while his neck heals.
Wow.
Ozzy's new album, Ordinary Men, is due out early in 2020, with the single Under the Graveyard already being released.
Yeah, there's the single Under the Graveyard's already on YouTube. We've got a link for that. I can put it in the description later.
So if you don't know what happened, the ATV accident from several years ago, and then he got up in the middle of the night to take a piss and fell and re-injured his neck.
Torque basically exploded all of the metal, all the screws and everything that was already holding his neck together.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So who knows? But he's got this new album coming out. So,
Yep.
and the new single's kind of a slower. I don't know if I'd call it a ballad. It's a ballad in the Ozzy terms of a ballad. Pretty dark.
Yeah, I have
But
heard.
it's not bad. It's not bad. So,
Yeah.
not
Yeah, I
too
haven't
bad.
listened to it yet either.
All right, well, this next one's just kind of a fun story that we ran across this week. It's called Don't Eat the Twinkie. And what happened was a school in Maine is celebrating the 43rd anniversary of a Twinkie that has been on display since being unwrapped by a science teacher in 1976. Administrators at George Stevens Academy in Blue Hill, Maine said the Twinkie was originally unwrapped by teacher Roger Benatti as part of a lesson on food preservatives. The Twinkie has been on display, or was on display, in Benatti's classroom until I retired in 2004, but now it's under the protection of Libby Rosemeyer, who is the school's dean of students, who also happens to be a student the day that he unwrapped the Twinkie in his classroom. So she was one of his students the day he unwrapped the turkey. And now she's in charge of the turkey. I keep saying the turkey, the Twinkie. So the Twinkie's 43 years old. They says it's still the same size and shape, but it's faded to kind of a odd gray color, and its texture has turned rough. As you can see there in the photograph, it looks a little weather worn. So
That looks nasty. I'm sorry.
43-year-old.
Nasty.
But here's the thing though, it's not moldy.
No.
Which tells you right there you shouldn't eat it.
Quentin
If it won't get moldy, if you put it outside and an animal won't eat it, don't eat it. So don't eat the Twinkie.
Not even the mice will eat it.
The mice won't even eat it.
All right.
I think
This
Quentin would
next
Quentin
next
will
one
tell
we
you.
got is one Dave found. It's called Finders Keepers.
A guy with a metal detector who was searching for his friend's lost wedding ring was rewarded for his efforts when he stumbled across a hoard of gold coins believed to be worth 128 grand.
Oh,
Wow.
Paul Reynard was on vacation when he discovered the trove in a field in Ballycastle, Northern Ireland, where he was searching with his friend and business partner Michael Gwynn for the ring. They had been on the
So he's
hunt.
out there with his buddy looking for the ring, and he finds this stash of gold
Jeez.
coins buried under the ground, like treasure hunt style, right?
And the oldest date back for more than 500 years.
Whoa.
The 84 coins, and the oldest dates back more than 500 years. Reynard said it's something to have dreamed of finding since I was a kid. It was an amazing feeling. It's like checking your lottery numbers and realizing you've hit the jackpot.
He's looking for, like, he's got his little thing. He's like, he's looking for this ring. It's gonna be like that, and all of a sudden, whoa, whoa, whoa! It starts lighting up bells and whistles.
I gotta get a metal detector, man. I'm telling you.
No kidding, dude.
The oldest coin is dated 1512
What?
and was made when King Henry VIII was king.
That's the one. That's the
Jeez.
big one that I blew up there. You can see in the picture. That's the oldest one that he said was worth the most money. I can't remember how much they said it was worth.
Yeah, they're hoping that it'll go for $5,000 or 6,500 or 6,400 US, 5,000 pounds British sterling pounds.
Should have bought a metal detector instead of a Friedman T.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
I know, right?
So
Wow.
there you go.
Did it say whether he bought his friend a new ring with all that money, or?
So he sent the coins to the Ulster Museum, where a team of experts will value them. If he decides to sell them, the money will be split equally between him and the landowner.
Oh, so
wow.
his buddies just shit
His
out of
buddies
luck.
just don't
Him and
know.
the landowner are splitting the money.
Yeah.
Oops, finders keepers, losers weepers.
Screw you guys, I'm going home.
Skigad, huh. Skigad. Huh. Oh my God. Oh my goodness. All right. We're going to
All
wrap
right.
this thing up here with some really, I saw this cool article today. It was 40, but I narrowed it down because some of them I didn't think qualified. But the next part of the little circuit breakers tonight is photographs of some really cool and stories behind really cool, iconic rock star guitars. So just kicking it off here, and these are not ranked. These are in no particular order. Okay, so just cool guitars. So don't pretend like I'm saying this one's better.
Just iconic
They're
guitars.
just all iconic, cool guitars. So obviously we're starting off here with, this is B.B. King and his ES335, which wasn't a valuable guitar when he got it. In fact, he paid
355,
30
not 335.
Yeah, what did I say? 335.
Yeah,
I
you
have
said
the
335.
ES.
That's a
I'm sorry.
355. Yeah,
Yeah, it's a
got the barrier
ES355.
tone. Yeah.
In fact, he only paid $30 for it in 1949. $30. He was gigging. Of course, the story is he was gigging at a dance hall when a fire broke out because two men were fighting over a woman, and BB ran back in to grab the guitar out of the burning wreckage, and afterwards he named it after the woman, and her name was Lucille.
Lucille.
So BB King's Lucille.
And that's how Lucille came about. The name Lucille came about.
$30 guitar that everybody knows, that everybody that
switch
knows
to?
about guitar knows about, right?
Dave, you know that little, he's got a little knob there where it's kind of right where
The
it's
white
knob.
around it. That's the
chicken
baritone switch. So that what that does is it's a 5-position switch, and it throws different capacitors into the circuit, and so you get a variable tones out of it.
Yeah, because I tried that. I guess it's a remake of that guitar at Cosmo. When I went to buy the Telly, they had that on the wall. I tried it. And I was playing around with that switch. I couldn't figure out what the hell it was actually
Chicken knob,
for.
chicken switch.
Yeah, a lot of guys, they'll use 1 and 2.
Okay.
Most of the rest of them are kind of unusable. Like 3 through 5 are kind of weird.
Yeah.
This isn't my kind of guitar, but when I was able to go through the Gibson custom shop with Guitar Hack and got to see how they make the tops, how they form the tops and shape the tops, that was a pretty fascinating part of the.
They used to be hand carved.
They're pressed now, but it's
Now they're
still
pressed.
pretty neat.
Yeah.
That's still cool. All right, moving on. Next one is Rick Nielsen's 5-neck Hamer guitar. Rick had 3 of these custom 5-neck guitars built, the most famous of which is the checkerboard finish.
Yeah.
But this is the original. It's called Smooth Orange, and Rick got it from Hamer in 1981. And of course, he's there also with this double neck Rick Nielsen guitar too. If you never got to see Cheap Trick, he'll play a different guitar on every song, and some songs he'll play 3-4 guitars. He'll play 4 guitars on one song.
Yeah.
They're just lined up out there. It's part of the show. It's great. I love it. Love it. All right, next one. Randy Rhoads
Sandoval.
was known for playing Flying V's. He had both Jackson's, the Concorde, and the Carl Sandoval Polka Dot V. But the Polka Dot V is the one that played Crazy Train, so it gets the nod for the iconic V.
No.
That's not what played Crazy Train.
No. That was
the information
live. It was recorded and played live on his Les Paul Custom.
Okay, well, that was the information that came from the
So.
from the
It was wrong. It was wrong.
Well, it's on the internet, so
It
if
was
it's
wrong.
on the internet, it has to be true, right?
Right.
The next one, a little bit different genre, but this is Prince's Cloud guitar, and you can't really argue that it's not iconic. It was made by Dave Rusin in Minneapolis, and later reproduced as a guitar you could purchase by Schecter. He actually had like 4 or 5 of them made throughout the 80s and 90s. And of course, he also had the cymbal guitar when he changed his name to the artist formerly known as Prince. Right? And he had the purple cymbal guitar that went along with that.
You know why all that went like that, right? It was over recording contract.
It was to get out of his contract with Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
So he changed his name and got out of the contract. That was because he wanted control over his own.
Right.
And I don't blame him for that. But the cool thing about this car, one thing that makes it iconic is
absolutely zero cool.
In 2017, it sold for $700,000. So if you had one, you think it's more than zero cool. You think it's $700K cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of them, because there's more than one. So one of them sold for $700K.
Right.
So next one, this is an all-time classic. This is Angus Young's JD Custom SG. It's not a Gibson, really. It's a JD Custom. But what makes this one iconic is it's the SG with the lightning bolts on the fretboard. And even though it's not really what Angus considers his number one is a guitar he calls Monkey, I believe. But this is the one that everybody kind of no, Monkey's someone else. That's actually that's Tony Iommi. I forget what he calls his number one or if it even has a name, but this is this is his JD with the lightning bolts that we all kind of picture in our mind when we think Angus rocking out, right?
And
So-
guys, yes, this is not made in a Gibson. This guitar was not made in a Gibson shop. This is it's called a Ghost build.
Yeah, it's a total
We're-
custom shop. Top to
We're not even it's a single, like a one-off builder, and they build basically they build replicas. And this is not
Billy
the
Gibbons
only.
has some. Tony Iommi has some.
This is not the only one we're going to see tonight, by the way. That's a ghost. That's
there's
an
at
actual
least one
ghost build.
more. Yeah.
So there's two more.
Well, there's at least a couple more at least. Yeah.
Yeah.
The next one here is obviously a guitar that needs no introduction. This is Eddie Van Halen's own creation, the Frankenstrat. Of course, Eddie. The story is he loved the sound of the Gibsons, but he wanted something that was comfortable and sleek like a Strat. So since he couldn't go buy one, he did the next best thing and built his own. He got the body for $50 because it had a nasty knot in it, but he didn't care because he was going to paint it anyway. Modified the pickup routing, put a Gibson PAF in there, painted the iconic straps on it, and the rest is rock and roll history right there. That's about as iconic as you can get.
Yeah.
Whether you like Eddie Van Halen or Van Halen, it is not the question. Is it iconic guitar or not?
Yes,
And yes,
it is
it
an
is
iconic
very much.
guitar.
Yeah, you
Yes.
can't deny that. So. Next one's a little bit different. This is Bo Diddley. Bo Diddley had a custom made guitar passion, and this is his cigar box shaped Twang machine, perhaps his most famous guitar. And what makes the Twang machine kind of cool is it was handcrafted by Bo himself after he was forced off the road for several months with an injury. I think he hurt a knee or something, had to have knee surgery, and he sat at home and built his own idea of the guitar he really wanted, and there it is. It's the Twang machine by Bo Diddley. Bo knows. Bo knows Twang. Can you say Twang on YouTube?
Yeah.
I don't know if you can. Okay.
We can say
Yeah.
Twang.
It's another TWA. Okay,
Yeah.
Different
Yeah.
word. Totally different word. Okay. I got confused. Next up, Jimi Hendrix's Monterey Strat.
Yeah.
Not only did he wail on it while opening for The Who, which he wasn't happy about, he played it with his teeth, and then he set it on fire. There's nothing more iconic than setting your guitar on fire. It's the Monterey Strat, Jimi Hendrix.
That's awesome.
Totally iconic. Now we're starting to get into some cool guitars. Not that these other ones aren't cool. This is Brian May's Red Special. It was built by him and his father out of an oak table and the fireplace mantle in their home. It's now 55 years old. It's still his main axe. It's been refurbished twice, once in the late 90s and again in 2005. And it's still the guitar that he picks up first in every show and every recording and everything else he does. Handmade by him and his
Him and his
father.
dad, yeah.
When he first wanted to play guitar, instead of buying one, they just made one, and he still got it.
That's amazing.
How iconic is that, right? Next one's kind of a cool guitar, and you can buy one of these now. I think they're coming around again. This is the Jimmy
EDS
Page double neck.
1275.
Yeah, the EDS 1275. And more than any other thing, what makes this guitar iconic is this is the guitar that he played Stairway to Heaven live on because he needed the ability to have the acoustic type sound, which he got out of the 12 string, and then, used the bottom neck for the riffage.
Yeah.
Right? So the Jimmy Page, and that's not the only Jimmy Page guitar in here, obviously, but the next one's kind of a cool, legendary Les Paul, and this is Neil Young's Old Black. He's had it for 50 years. He got it in a trade with Jim Messina from Buffalo Springfield. It's actually a 1953 gold top that had been repainted black, and as you can kind of see there, the paint's worn through in certain places. And it has appeared on every single Neil Young album since 1969.
Didn't we try that one in
We-
Nashville?
There was a replica. It was a, like Dave was talking about, where a custom builder built a replica of a guitar. That's what they had. That was in Rumble Seat.
Yeah.
They did have one, and I did play it. I think you guys all played it. It was in that kind of side room where the couch was at, that really cool room they had in there. And they did have one, and it was really cool to get to see it. At first, I thought it was the real freaking thing. I was like, what?
Yeah.
But then if you've read the little card, you found out it was a replica, but really cool guitar.
Really?
Next one's also, these are another one of these JD Customs. This is Tony Iommi's Old Boy. He calls it Old Boy. This is a 1975 John Diggins, also known as JD Customs. This is the guitar that Tony used on Heaven and Hell and the tour as well. It's probably one of the most well-known of their albums, as well as this guitar being famous. But as I mentioned earlier, mistakenly, this is not what he considers his number one guitar. He has another black one that doesn't have the crosses on the inlays that he calls Monkey. That's the one that he usually plays. But this is the one we all kind of think of because of the inlays on the headstock when you think of the... In fact, if you get the Epiphone Tony Iommi signature model, it comes with the
crosses,
with the cross inlays. So
Yeah.
so this is Old Boy by Tony Iommi, right? Here's another interesting guitar that we're all familiar with, but we may not know the story of, and Dave knows a little bit more about the story than I do. This is Slash's Appetite Les Paul. He performed all the big hits or riffs, Welcome to the Jungle, Sweet Child of Mine, Paradise City. But the reality is it's not really a Gibson. It's a 59 replica made by Chris Derrick in California. And I don't know price-wise if it cost him more than a 1959 replica or if it was something that was inexpensive that he could afford.
Well, okay, so here's the kind of the story, and I hope I get this correct. It's been a while since I've actually read the story, but he needed a guitar. And yes, Chris nailed it. No, they weren't, but they're ridiculously expensive now because Chris Derrick is dead, and he ain't making no more guitars. So
at least not in this plane of the universe.
Exactly.
He might be making them in another.
So those Derrick Les Pauls they're ridiculous money. Because now, because guys like
Slash had one.
Right.
Because
Slash has one, and there's several other. There's quite a few others that are actual Derricks that are run around looking like Les Pauls, and a lot of famous people have them. So
the hypocrisy of Gibson is they made a replica of their replica.
Exactly.
and they cost a freaking arm. Like,
Fortune.
you could buy two custom shops for one Slash Les
One of the
59.
Yeah. I'm not sure.
They should sue themselves for copying a copy.
Soda, I know Joe has a real 59. Actually, he got it. It was back in the day.
Joe lost his 59. Slash got it and gave it back to him.
Yeah,
You're
pretty
talking
much.
about Joe's 59. Yeah.
So Joe has an actual 59, and
Slash had it, but he gave it back to Joe on his birthday because Joe had been trying to buy it from him back. He's like, man, if you ever want to sell the guitar, I want to buy it back. I want to buy it back. And he's like, no, I ain't selling it. But he surprised him and he gave it to him.
Oh yeah, I remember that story.
He gave him like $300,000 freaking.
Yeah.
For your birthday. Happy birthday to you. Hell yeah, brother. All right. Slash's fake Les Paul. Slash is unauthentic.
Authentic guitar.
Authentic custom shop fake guitar.
Just
moving on.
Hold on, real quick. Chances are that those pickups in the Derrick are actual PAFs.
Yeah,
just saying.
Probably.
Chances are very high that those are actual PAF pickups. And Chris, real quick, the Max is not for sale. I do know that.
Well, now we're moving on. This is a little iconic Cream Eric Clapton era here. This guitar is known as the Fool. And the Fool was hand-painted by a Dutch art collector and built in it's a 1963 SG that Eric played quite a bit with Cream and on stage, especially on tour. But after Cream broke up, Clapton was so kind of disenchanted with the whole situation that he gave it away. He totally gave it to somebody. He no longer owns it. And I I couldn't find any information on if it's out there,
Right.
if it's in a
probably
museum.
sitting in somebody's
Probably
private collection.
they're under a freaking bed somewhere. And
Yeah.
It'd be
You
like
don't
some dude with a
realize.
metal detector will find it, and $500,000 later. I don't know. It may be out there somewhere. I just couldn't find it. I don't know. Again, with a little Jimmy Page action here. I'm gonna have to flip the page. We're getting down closer to the end. This is one of his 2 Les Paul standards. This one is the more sunbursty of the 2, and of course, you know, anything Jimmy played, he made it look good.
Yeah.
Right, and sound good. But little Les Paul, little Starbird, little Sunburst, and I think this was probably a 58, maybe. I don't think it's
it
very,
was-
it's not.
Yeah,
59.
I believe that's that may be the 60. He's got a 59 and it's 60.
So it must
So
be the
the-
60 because it's more sunburst, and I don't know that they were that sunbursty in 59, were they?
Well, they were. It just fade over time.
Yeah.
They changed the dyes in 1960.
Like
So
Greenie, like Greenie used to be a cherry sunburst.
Right,
Now it's
right.
like a lemon burst.
Yeah. So that's just it. They changed the dyes. They went to an aniline dye in 1960, and so the dyes, the colors stayed a lot better in the 60s and later than they did in the 50, 59 and earlier, or 58 and 59, because those were the only 2 years they did bursts.
Right.
59 and 60. And
One of Jimmy's former bandmates, in a way, for a very, very, very short period of time, Mr. Jeff Beck.
Oh, yeah.
And his Stratocaster. Jeff says he plays the Strat because to him it doesn't feel like a guitar at all. It feels like his voice. And with the Strat, it instantly becomes mine, and it welds itself to me, and that's why I play the Strat. So Jeff
Maybe
Beck's
you played a Les
Jeff Beck's
Paul
Strat's
before,
fairly
didn't
iconic. Say again.
You never played a Les Paul?
I
think he had a Les Paul, but he didn't give it to. I think he gave one. Isn't one of Jimmy Page's Les Pauls one he got from Jeff Beck or something like that?
No, the one that he got from Joe Walsh. He got is it the 60 or the 59? It's whichever one's the repaired headstock. He got it from Joe Walsh for like $500.
From Joe Walsh. Okay, I had the story wrong. It's okay. Next one. This is another Stratocaster. It doesn't get much more iconic than this. This is Stevie Ray Vaughan's number 1. It was a 1963 body with a 1962 rosewood fretboard and 1959 pickups. He got the instrument in 1974 at Ray Henning's Heart of Texas Music. He took possession of number 1. It was already well worn by its previous owner. And the previous owner was another celebrated Texas musician, Christopher Cross. Christopher Cross owned number 1 before Stevie did, which is kind of cool. So it had some mojo. It already had a little mojo when he got it.
Interesting.
Yep.
And I think the actual story is that his girlfriend wasn't in it, or was that the second one? One of Stevie's guitars, his girlfriend and all his buddies chipped in to buy it from him from this guitar
I think that's
shop.
the noise number 2.
Is that the number 2? Because that's
I
the one that
think
has
so.
the girl's name. It's named after somebody. It's
Oh,
her
there's
name.
Lenny. Lenny is that one.
That's okay. So this is Lenny.
That's the
So if
number
this
one.
is
That's
Lenny,
Lenny.
So Lenny's the girlfriend. So he named
Right.
it Lenny because she and his buddies went to the guitar shop. They put their money
Okay.
in and bought it for him for his birthday. That's how he
Oh.
got it. He didn't
There
actually
you go.
buy it. They bought it for him.
There you go.
I don't know if they knew Christopher Cross owned it before or not. I think that just was happenstance.
Oh, is Lenny the red one? I don't know. Well, Lenny may be the red one. I
Okay,
don't
well,
know.
we know there's number 1 in Lenny, so the
Right.
story's in there somewhere.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Next,
Sorry, guys.
Next one's not only an iconic guitar, but obviously our iconic guitar player. Some of the other music we all love wouldn't exist probably without this guy. This is Chuck Berry. His 1955 or 56 rather ES 350 TN, known as Maybelline. of all the guitars that Chuck played known, this would probably be the one that we picture in our mind's eye when we think of Chuck playing the guitar, right? And of course,
That's
you've
not
seen,
that's not a
Back to the
350
Future.
TN, I can tell you that.
Well, that's what the photograph and the caption that went with it was. So it says it was ES 350 TN. It's 1956 Maybelline, and if that's not the correct picture, I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, it's fine. It's just so a little Gibson lesson for you.
Is that
So-
a single cut or something? A
No,
50?
so an ES is electric Spanish. 3 whatever, that's your body style, right? 339, 335, but they used to do a T. So there was 3 letters. TDN would be thin body. D is dual pickups. N is natural. This would actually be a TDC, thin,
Okay.
2 pickups, dual pickups, cherry. That's a cherry.
So it might be Maybelline. I just might have the wrong designation for the guitar, more or less.
Yeah, and that's more of a, well, I guess that could be a 350. I'm not that familiar with the numbers and how they, but yeah, I believe it is a 350 with the
That one's got the
trappy.
chicken. It's got the chicken knob on it too.
It's got the baritone switch. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. All right, couple more to go. Couple more iconic guitars. This is obviously Buddy Guy
Yeah.
and
Polka dot Strat.
Polka Dot Strat, the Big Papa playing the Fender Stratocasters. Now, what happened was Buddy was a Gibson guy, but he got to be friends with another blues guitar legend named Guitar Slim and Big Papa, and they were playing these Fenders. And he's like, man, I got to try one of those. And in 1957, his Les Paul got stolen in Chicago. And the next day, he went out and bought this 1957 Strat. And polka dots are his thing, and the rest is freaking history.
Interesting.
But he got it. Yeah. And this is the last one. Pete Townsend, #1. And if you notice real close, he's got #1 right there on the guitar. That's a piece of tape. So one of the most iconic guitars that Townsend ever played was his #1 Gibson Les Paul. Why is it named #1? Well, Townsend would tune all of his guitars for the set and then line them up in order of the songs by number. And so he would know which guitar to grab for the next song. He numbered them with tape. And that was, and that's #1. That's how it got to be #1.
Gaffer tape.
Yeah, or just a piece of masking tape or something, it looks like. So that does it for the Circuit Breakers tonight. We hope you enjoyed getting to see some of those cool guitars, even if all the pictures and captions weren't exactly correct. They were in the neighborhood.
Yeah, they're close enough.
They were in the neighborhood. So, Brian, you got a big early day tomorrow. You going back to the convention, photography convention that you're at?
Yeah, I'm gonna go spend another few hours there and then try to make my way out of this zoo of the city.
Traffic. After everybody gets to work, then you can head out, and it maybe won't be. You'll be going the other direction. It won't
Yeah,
be as
that's
bad.
the plan. That's the plan.
That's the plan. When you go on the road for a day or two, do you miss your guitars real bad? I mean, you strike me as the kind of guy that plays every day for probably an hour or more every day.
Yeah, I've been playing quite a bit lately, so it's just one day what doesn't kill me. But yeah, when I get home, I'll start playing again.
2 or 3 days.
Yeah,
Get some
exactly.
more up. You
Yeah.
think you're going to be able to make it to Gear Fest?
I am planning to.
Okay, cool. That'll be
Yeah,
fun.
definitely.
So I think Dave's got it in the back of his mind. I know Guitar Hacks and talking about it, and he's already told me blocked off dates so he won't book a show
Yeah.
during the week that weekend. So I think Chicken Guitars might come down. So
Chicken
that would be
Guitar.
fun. We could go take the place over and have a good time.
Yeah, that would be an awesome trip and some fun times for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, Brian, we sure appreciate you coming on. We know you're on the road and you're working and taking time out of your busy schedule, but we all really enjoy your channel, and look up to you as a guitar player. I personally do as a musician and as a guitar player. Somebody I'd like to, you know, someday get as good as you. That would be a dream.
Oh, geez,
So
thank you. Jeez.
really, no, I'm not kidding, man. I'm serious about that. So I really appreciate you coming on the show. I know Dave does too. And of course, we appreciate all the live wires for joining in with us tonight. We always have fun with them in the chat. They're a great group of people. Thank you, live wires.
Yeah.
Thank you, Brian.
We are the live wires. They're the wire. They're the wire.
Well,
nuts.
they're the wire nuts, but listen, they're the live wires because with that, you know, if they're not watching, there's no reason for us to be doing any of this.
That's true, man.
But
This is true.
we like to bring on people in the community and kind of interview them a little bit and have some fun with them, so everybody gets to know them a little bit more. And if you like the show, please like and subscribe. And next week it's going to be Glenn from Guitar Bazaar. And we'll throw his YouTube page in the description later after the show. So if you want to come back and check it out, but he's definitely, you can probably just search him on YouTube and find it. But he's a luthier, plays guitar, but he's a luthier, built Dave's guitar we saw tonight. So that'll be next Wednesday, 6 p.m., 7 Dave's funky time and 9 p.m. Eastern. And thank you everybody for joining the show. And especially Brian, thanks for coming on. We really appreciate it.
No, thanks, guys. I mean, you guys are awesome. I love your show. And from the day you guys announced you were doing a show together, I knew you guys had a hit because
you were in on the ground floor of that because there was that conversation in the car in front of Gruen's Guitars. I think it was Gruen's maybe.
Yeah.
Where I was on, we were kind of talking about that. So, yeah.
I knew you guys had a winner there, and it's been my favorite show since you guys have started this. So,
well, it's a little wild and crazy, but we're having fun, and that's what it's all about.
That's
right?
awesome.
Yeah. So
And
great, everybody.
You guys keep coming back every week for either more punishment or because you enjoy it. I don't know.
They keep coming back because it's a train wreck and they can't turn away.
That Halloween show, I was just in stitches, and I just couldn't. Keep it
It's
together.
like the car wreck on the other side of the interstate, and everybody slows down to rubberneck to see what could possibly. Is there ambulances that are here yet?
So, guitar says make 6-string say J-Rag just once.
J-Rag.
Eat a salad. Eat a salad. All right, we're out. We'll see y'all next week, gang. Thanks for
Have a good
joining
week,
in.
guys.
You guys.